Okay, here we are doing our YouTube live, looking to find out live what's going on with the I-bond inflation rate. So let me share my screen, and we are going to look to see the release right now of the cost of living numbers. Here we go. So we got a new CPI out, 0.4% rise, 3.2% 12-month looks like. So that's actually a little bit lower on the 12-month than expected, but we're looking for that number, the CPI number that matters. There we go. For I-bonds, it's 312.332. And so let me put that on over to our calculator we have going on. Let's see what this is doing here. Now 3.94 is the current I-bond inflation rate. Let's see how it's looking. All right. Oh, you see a bunch of me there. All right. I had the projections in there from before. Here we go. So 3.12332 is the most recent CPI number. And the way you figure out the next inflation rate, you take that number, which is March of 2023. You divide it out by September, the beginning point. That comes to 1.48. Of course, they kind of stop it there. There's no rounding down to the thousands and so forth. So you look here, 2.96% is the next I-bond inflation rate. That compares to 3.94%. So basically a full percentage point drop. And why that's important is you get to take a look for the last 2 months of April. You get to buy I-bonds if you want to, and you know what the whole 12 months would look like. So I've got it calculated out here that if you bought I-bonds in April, your first 6 months, you'd get 5.27%. Your next 6 months, you would get 4.28, which is when you buy in April, you get the 1.3% fixed situation on there. Let's see here. Oh, it's still showing. All right, let's see here. Still showing my back end. All right, let me stop that, and let me share the screen. You heard what I was talking about. 2.96 on the entire screen. Here we go. This ought to do it. There you go. This ought to do it. Now I know how to do that. All right, so 5.27 you get if you buy I-bonds right away end of April. When it renews 6 months later in October, you still have the same 1.3% fixed rate, but then you switch over to inflation rate to 2.96%. So 5.25 basically for the first 6 months, 4.25 for the second 6 months, gives you a 4.83% for the whole 12 months, which isn't terribly too bad. You take a look here at, we've got, let's see here, I've got it up here, the treasuries. I mean, an I-bond is basically, it's a 12-month investment with the government. You can get a 12-month treasury bill for 5.05. You can get the I-bond for 4.83. So yes, it's a little lower. At the same time, you've got 1.3% locked in for quite a long time. So it's a nice situation for you there. So that's the I-bond rate. 2.96 is what the I-bond rate would be, inflation rate, plus whatever the fixed rate is. And you don't quite know what the fixed rate will be, but I've got a video on will the I-bond fixed rate go up or down. I'll link to that in the comments so you got that. The other part, it's not official yet, but you're halfway through with Social Security. You're halfway through with what the next COLA would be. So let's find, excuse me there, CPIW, all right, CPIW, that increased 3.5%. That's what goes into your Social Security COLA. So we're basically halfway there. And so let's make a projection on Social Security COLA for next year, because that's a big deal. I've got that number projected in there. Let's see what the official rate is looking like. So when you run these numbers right now, pardon me, right now, Social Security COLA is only projecting at 2%. You'll probably see that projection at 2% in the headlines coming out soon. The situation, though, is that the second half of the 12 months that are needed for Social Security COLA is almost always higher. I did the last 10 months on averages. It's about 2.3% higher for the average. So you got to kind of account for the seasonality that the first 6 months of COLA is actually usually lower. I mean, it's a big deal. It's almost double the second 6 months on there. So when we count for that seasonality, COLA is projecting out at 3.2%, which is exactly where it's at right now. So interesting. It seems as if 2023 here of the COLA jumping 3.2 for next year, 2024, is at 3.2. It's projecting to do the same thing. So interesting how inflation's maybe gone down, but it seems to be kind of stuck here at the 3.2%. So there you go. And I've got a video I'll put in there in the show notes, where that video will talk about safety first approaches to retirement. If you're interested in how your Social Security grows and stays stable, you might be interested in how the rest of your retirement stays stable. So check out those video links, and we will be talking to you soon.